Well, hey, y'all. Welcome to the Ministry of Ordinary Women, Extraordinary God. We are video today, and we are so glad you're here. And we have been hearing from you that you wanted something beyond podcasts and social media and emails, that you wanted to actually see some of the people that we were talking to and meet some of our friends. And so today, you get to meet my friend, Dawn Klinge. And we actually met online, and then we've gotten to meet several times in person. And she's precious. She's a writer. She's a blogger and a longtime friend. And I believe you're just going to be blessed by her life and enjoy getting to meet her. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and pull up a chair and just enjoy the conversation time with us. So welcome, Dawn. We're so glad you're here today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, tell us just a little bit about you and about your life. Give us just a little intro on Dawn.
Well, I live in a town called Wenatchee, and it is, if you put your finger right in the middle of Washington, that's about where it is. It's a beautiful valley with the Cascade Mountains on one side and the Columbia Plateau, and perfect for me because I love the outdoors, and there's a lot of opportunities here for getting outside and enjoying nature. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 26 years now, and we have 2 young adult children, and this is the first year where they're both living away from home, so new empty nester.
Yeah. You're telling me there's no pets and no kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a new phase.
Yeah. Well, you live in one of the prettiest places I've ever seen. Dawn puts posts on Instagram and Facebook, and it's just gorgeous where you are. Mountains, beautiful place. Yeah. Yes. Well, our title, we flipped our title. We were Women Living Courageously. Now that's our subtitle. And so we now are going by Ordinary Women, Extraordinary God. So I love to ask women, how are you an ordinary woman? How are you just one of the girls?
How am I an ordinary woman? I struggle with anxiety. That's one of my weaknesses, but it's also an area that God has really used to draw me closer to Him and really cling to Him and learn. And it's just been a continual lesson that learning to trust God and just really lean on Him instead of my own understanding. And an ordinary woman. So yeah. As I said, I love outdoor activities. I love being a wife and mom, and I'm a writer. That's something that really brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, that's great. That is super. And I will tell you that you can't see it, but she's actually in a cast because she was doing one of those outdoor activities. She was snow skiing and fell, and we're glad she's good, but she broke a bone in your foot. Is that right?
It's torn.
Torn. Well, it's the same thing. If you're in a cast, yeah, it's a lot. Well, I love your story, and you're going to get to hear a little bit more about her writing. And so let me just ask you that. Let me pose that question. What are you looking forward to this year? Have you got some new projects? Are you working on a new book? Or Dawn has a series of books. She's mostly now a fiction writer. But tell us what you're doing next. What's your next big thing you're working on?
Well, I recently revived a newsletter. I moved over to Substack, and I'm pushing that out once a week and having a lot of fun with that. I feel like I'm kind of going back to my roots. Like it feels like the early days of blogging. It's just very simple. It's just a sweet little community, and I enjoy writing about what I'm learning, what God is teaching me. So that would be nonfiction. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. And I am also collaborating with a group of 10 other historical fiction authors on a project called Apron Strings. And that will be coming out. That is a collection of books that are all connected. They're different decades, but they're connected by one cookbook that is in each book. And so my decade is actually the early 2000s. And So I'm looking forward to, I'm working on that story, but that won't come out till 2024. So.
Exciting. We'll have to get your email information in case people want to join your email list and get those weekly emails. I'll get that from you. And we'll put that, we don't have show notes, but we have comments. And so below on YouTube and even on Facebook, we can add that. So if y'all want to join her on our email list, and that way you'll know when this new book series is coming out. So I'll get that from you and we'll add that below. Well, let me ask you this, because I always ask my friends what God has been teaching them. So what do you feel like you've been learning? What is God teaching you? Where is he working in your life?
I felt like he gave me a word for 2023, and the word was quiet.
Oh,
and
that would be hard for me. I'm glad that's not my word. So, yeah.
And I think that he has a lot to teach me in that area. I started out the year on January 2nd, had an accident with skiing, and that has definitely forced me to have a quieter life these past few weeks. I can't get around very well, but beyond it goes beyond that. I don't know what all God is going to teach me about this word this year, but he has led me to spend more time in contemplation and meditation. I've committed to 2 20-minute sessions per day, which for me, that feels like a lot of time. I know some people do longer, but yeah. I just really want to listen and make space in my life to hear what God has to say to me. So,
well, I think that's so wise. I think about that scripture when Mary found out that she was going to have baby Jesus, and it said she pondered these things in her hearts. And I don't think we take much time these days to be quiet and ponder. So I love that that's where your focus is going to be this year. And I'll add this, I just did a podcast not very long ago about how to find your word. And so if you don't know what your word is for the year, I'll put the link, because a lot of times people are like, well, where do I start? Or how do I get my word? Or why does she have a word and I don't have a word? And everybody can have a word, a focus for the year. And so I'll add that link in the comments if you want to look for that and listen to that and maybe get some ideas. So you'll have a focus for this year as well. So I love that yours is quiet. That's a interesting one. Let me ask you this. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
My website. It's very simple to find. It's www.dawnklinge.com. Okay. And that can direct you to anywhere. My newsletter, my books, all that.
Good. All right. We'll link for you too, so that people can find you easily. And I'll tell you what I love about Dawn. She's a deep thinker, and she's more quiet sometimes, but she comes out with some really profound truth and she's great at expressing herself. And so I think you'll enjoy following her and reading her and learning from what God's teaching her. So I'm going to put the link so that people can get in touch with you. Let me ask you this one more question, and you can share anything you want, but is there anything else that you'd like to share? As people say, hey, okay, this lady from Washington, I'd like to get to know her a little bit better. Is there anything you have for us that maybe people listening, you want to share with them or tell them or encourage them with today?
Oh, well, I thought maybe I'd share a verse. Okay. And it goes along with the word that I shared, and it's from 1 Thessalonians. It's 1 Thessalonians 4:11, and it says, "Make your ambition to lead a quiet life, and attend to your own business, and work with your hands, as we commanded you." Yeah, and for me, it directs me in a lot of it's directing me in the way that I approach my time online, how I consume news, how I just all kinds of different areas of my life. It's really relevant, I think, for many people today.
Yeah, it's such a good word. I had a mentor that gave me that verse years ago, and she said, make it your business to live a quiet life and mind your own business. And it's very freeing when you're not worrying about everybody else and everything else, and you just kind of turn the volume down. So I love that. And that's a great encouragement for all of us today, to live a quiet life and to mind our business and take care of our own home. And I think we'd have a lot more joy if we quit trying to control everybody and everything else.
Yes.
Just took care of us, right?
Yeah, and it frees us up then to take care of the people that God puts in our life.
Yeah, that's such a good word. Yeah, you focus on filling up first and getting right first, and then you can help other people. Yeah, that's so good. Absolutely. Well, this has been so sweet, and I'm so glad that you got to meet everybody and everybody got to meet you today, Dawn. And thank you so much for joining us. You're such an encouragement as a friend in my life, and I believe that she can be an encouraging friend in your life. So find her, get in touch with her, send her a note, tell her you saw her on the video. I'm sure you'd love to hear from people that heard today or saw today what we were talking about. Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie.
Absolutely.
It's been so fun chatting with you.
Oh, it's been so good. And our hope through these little conversations is that you'll just be encouraged. Our goal is that we'll be women that live courageously and we live without fear of the future. And so as we put our eyes on Jesus and hope in him today, I'm praying that you will be sweetly encouraged. And so God bless you until next time. And thank you, Dawn.
Oh, God bless.